Target tank. However, back at Fort Worth, Texas, Bell quickly used company funds to put the Huey's engine and rotors onto a slim, fighter-like fuselage, seating a weapons operator in the nose with the pilot above and behind him. There was no cabin, and the Model 209, or AH-1 Huey Cobra, was devoted entirely to sensors and weapons. It was just what the Army needed, and soon hundreds were being rushed to Vietnam. Quickly assembled and checked out, some AH-1Gs were in action a day after arriving. Popularly called the Snake, the AH-1G was equipped with a powered chin turret fitted with various mixes of machine guns or 40mm grenade launchers. On each side, there was a stub wing carrying 4 pylons for forward-firing rockets, guns, or later, guided missiles. Straight away, the Cobras began escorting the Hueys. As they neared the landing zone, the slim Cobras would race on ahead and soften up the surrounding area. Usually, the wing pylons would carry rocket launchers, the maximum load being 4 launchers with 19 rocket tubes each, a total of 76 missiles. As well as the General Electric minigun in the chin turret, additional machine guns were carried on the stub wings. In order to shield the landing zone, a smoke screen could be laid down. The Hueys wouldn't hang about. Sometimes the troops would leave the helicopters without their even touching the ground. After the troop carriers had gone, the Cobras would stay to provide close support for the freshly inserted troops. Any pockets of enemy resistance would be reported to the ground commander, who could call up the Cobras and give them an exact target at which to fire. A rocket salvo with fragmentation warheads could be devastating, and the minigun could saw big trees in half. The only really vulnerable part of the Cobra was the crew, operating behind a thin canopy, though their seats and side panels were armored. Early AH-1Gs were limited in their ability to operate at night or in bad weather. But later Marine Corps AH-1Js not only had upgraded equipment, but also twin engines. The Marines lost 17 machines in 1967 due to engine problems, but the twin-pack engine enabled the Sea Cobra to return to base even with one power unit knocked out. The Sea Cobra's turret mounted a 3-barrel 20mm cannon, while the Army's AH-1G often appeared with an M35 subsystem, adding a forward-firing 6-barrel cannon with 1,000 rounds of ammunition. The Vietnam War, therefore, saw the first introduction of dedicated ground attack helicopters. Their value was immeasurable, but they had not yet developed into modern tank busters.
AH-1G Huey Cobras swept in with rockets and raking machine gun fire. This combination of superior firepower and mobility prevented the North Vietnamese from mounting even one major offensive in the area. Thanks to the short-range reconnaissance patrols and their supporting units, threat after threat to the 4th Division area was eliminated.
A gunship can only carry a fairly limited load of ammunition. When the load has been expended, the aircraft is useless to the commander. Always consider your mission before expending any ammo. Will firing on a particular target further your mission? If it won't, then pass up the target. Are you there to destroy or neutralize? Don't use the rounds required to destroy when neutralization is all that is required. If your fire team partner was downed on the return trip, how could you protect him until help came? The most common and best technique is to designate a certain percentage of the ammunition load which will not be used without the permission of the mission leader.
Cobra made a team that was a formidable adversary for the Viet Cong. In Vietnam, the Army learned that even an armed helicopter, they operated in teams for mutual support and varied their mode of operation. Learned the most effective employment of the helicopter in low-intensity combat was at an altitude of 1,200 feet, where it was least vulnerable to ground fire and its weapons were most effective. The less expensive, more agile light observation helicopter could effectively locate targets for the hard-hitting gunships.
most lethal helicopter of the war was about to make its presence felt. For the first time on television of the war, the Cobra gunship. Mounted with 4 rocket pods containing up to 38 rockets, a machine gun, and a grenade launcher, the Cobra was loaded with firepower. Capable of achieving an airspeed of over 200 miles per hour, this formidable fighting machine was significantly faster than any of its predecessors. And unlike the Huey, the Cobra carried only 2 people, the pilot and co-pilot, who were directly responsible for firing its weapons. Walter Pinkerton was one of the elite few chosen to fly the new helicopter.
Here was the helicopter that the pilot could return fire directly, whereas every other helicopter, the pilots relied on other air crewmen to return fire. So in that respect, it was kind of a thrill. Typically, we would carry 17-pound warheads. So it was a weapons platform primarily, and our mission was to leave the other helicopters out. So it was a real active participant in it.
The U.S. military deployed about 12,000 helicopters during the conflict. A new weapon was on its way to Vietnam. The most lethal helicopter of the war was about to make its presence felt.